Hey everyone, this is the Finance Course Guru once again. I'm going to try to help you today with the net present value of uneven cash flows. And you can see what we have here is we have a project with which we've been presented, and that project has a cash outlay of $750,000. And then years 1 through 6, at the end of each year, we're going to receive a payment back. So what I'm going to try to do is show you how to use Microsoft Excel and the present value, net present value function to find the net present value of these cash flows. So let's go to this. What I've done is I set up a little box. And again, you don't need to do this if you're just going to try to do one assignment or one analysis. But if you have multiple assignments, or if you do this in industry quite frequently, maybe you set up a box like I have here. So one of the things we need to be careful about is that the cash flows translate from one box to the next in the correct period of time. So you see we still have our year 0 cash outlay, which happens right away. At the end of the remaining years, we're going to have these cash inflows. And what net present value does is it looks at the present value of the costs and the present value of the cash outflows and tells us if the result is above or below 0, which is our decision-making threshold. So let's take a look at this. One of the things that you'll notice now is that our formula down here is already working for us. So we've found that these cash flows, ignoring the time value of money, is worth $183,000 in net present value. So as we know, that's a go decision, right? So we're gonna go for this project because it has a net present value of greater than 0. But we need to account for the fact that these cash flows are coming at a later time. So what we do is we use a discount rate, and you'll hear books call these different things. So some will call it the discount rate, some will call it the required rate of return. In more advanced classes, you'll have to figure out the weighted average cost of capital and then use your cost of capital as your discount rate. But the context clue should tell you what this is headed for. So let's just take a look and assume that our required rate of return is 12%. Now, when we add this, watch what happens to our outcome down here for the net present value. Now, because we've discounted these cash flows at our required rate of return of 12%, the net present value is negative. So this is now a no-go project. We don't do this because the net present value is below 0. We're not adding wealth to the business or for the shareholders. So let's assume, though, that we're Walmart or Target or someplace where money's cheap, there's a lot of cash laying around. Maybe we only need a 4% return, and therefore we would use 4% as our discount rate. Watch what happens here. Now this net present value is a positive $61,000. So the change in the discount rate changed the decision of making. So before we had 12% discount rate, we would say no. At a 4% discount rate, the net present value is positive, so we pursue the project. So before we log off, let me just show you the formula that I'm using here. This is built into Excel, nothing too fancy. So you can see the net present value formula, and the function box will really walk you through this. You can use what you see here as a template to set up your own tables. So if you are interested, or if you have assignments requiring, I've made videos as well on internal rate of return, modified internal rate of return, and also the payback period with these particular cash flows. And that's powerful because it lets you see how the multiple methods of analysis treat the same cash flows. And sometimes we get some contradicting information, and we have to really rely on the best tool, which is net present value. So again, if you're interested in those other videos or these topics, or you have courses in this area, go back over to the Finance Course Guru channel, subscribe, like, leave a comment. If there's ever anything I can help you with, leave it down in the notes and I'll make a video for you. Thanks a lot, and I hope you found this helpful.